Welcome inside a rowdy Bronco gym. Chris Lewis, happy to have you along. The Rams are one of the elite teams in women's college volleyball. 20 straight NCAA tournaments, and they come in ranked in tonight's game, number 20 in the nation. Boise State has never beaten Colorado State, but came oh so close last time they faced in September at Moby Arena. Boise State had a 2-1 advantage before dropping it in 5 sets. Since then, Boise State has won 6 in a row and find themselves in second place in the Mountain West. A win tonight pulls Boise State 1 game back of Colorado State and sitting pretty with a chance to make their first ever NCAA tournament. Hamill had that swing. Hamill re-triggers, blocked by Oliver, got back over. O'Donnell receives, punch out for Nobley, inbounds. Nobley handles, Bolda back set, Roberts crushes it, and Boise State wins set 1. Two-time Big Sky Conference first team, Tressa Lyman. Line drive serve, again an ace. Nobley just got over. Overpass, smashed by Oliver. Dump by Bolda, perfect placement.
Bolda's having an awesome match so far. She's playing smart. She's running this offense. She's running this team.
And it looks like she's having fun as well with that big old smile.
Oh, yeah.
For win 12 at home. Pennington is blocked. The senior closes it out on senior night. Maddie O'Donnell comes through. The crowd was fantastic in that Colorado State match, and the crowd looks about just as big about a week later. Jamie Lee Bolda on the serve for Boise State as we're underway, and that's a top outside hitter for Air Force, Elizabeth Pennington.
Well, and again, you know, it takes a couple of plays for everyone to get warmed up. Right there, the block just didn't meet each other between O'Donnell and Janelle Wally.
Pennington's a sophomore, Roanoke, Texas. She's 5th in the conference in kills. Osborne receives the serve. They'll set up Roberts on the line shot. Received in the back, low by Helt, and Air Force gets their second points.
Well, and I think, you know, as the whole season's been going along, it comes down to Bolda and her hitters having the tempo and the chemistry that they need to throw their opponents off out of system.
O'Donnell rips it. So the senior.
Yeah, exactly like that.
On a great set by Jamie Lee Bolda, who's first in the Mountain West, in fact, 4th in the nation in assists. And to think the Broncos lost a setter that was top 3 in the nation in assists last year in Sarah Ball. And to have Jamie Lee Bolda, a first-year player in that spot, to really carry the torch the way she did, very impressive. Sozi is blocked, but it goes out of bounds.
Well, and Jamie Lee Bolda has just stepped into such a huge pair of shoes that Sarah Ball left, and she has risen to the occasion and has really shown what she's made of.
This is Nobley, preseason Mountain West Player of the Year, and Teresa, I think she might win the award in the postseason too.
I really think she deserves it. You know, I mean, you look at Maddie O'Donnell, who she also has all-around tremendous statistics, but you know, when you feed Nobley, you pretty much can be rest assured that you're going to get a point. That's how powerful and decisive she is.
She leads the conference in kills. Wally lunged late, make that Sullivan to try to get it, but Air Force will register their 4th point, and the Falcons off to a pretty good start.
Yeah, well, definitely they've got a 2-point lead here.
Team that's coming in losing 6 straight sets. Tough opponents, Wyoming and Colorado State. Served by Pennington into the net. They did pick up their win 3 matches ago against Fresno. They swept them. So how about that? Going through conference, tough to win a set. All of a sudden, you're feeling it against the Fresno State Bulldogs, where you get a sweep.
Well, and you have to know that anyone who is an Air Force cadet is going to be in very good shape. They're going to be athletic.
Going to be tough as well. Still, though, tough to handle that from Nobley going cross court for the Broncos to knot it at 4. A little bit on Air Force. It's been an interesting season for them. They started off very well. In fact, they had an 8-2 start to the season. It was tied for the best start in program history.
Well, you know, who knows if it comes down to injuries or just all the other teams figuring them out.
Looked like that was touched at the front of the net indeed.
And it doesn't seem to me, at least early on in this first set, that Air Force has much of a blocking force, which could prove, you know, kind of painful for them as the match goes along.
Indeed, they're under 2 blocks per set, which is pretty much the standard if you're below 2. That is a weak number. Nobley from the far side crushes it. The Bronco leader in kills, 4.5 per set. Adds another.
And especially right now, we have Air Force has Hynek and Conlon against Nobley, and they're not really putting up much of a fight against her.
So it could be a match where the Broncos add on to their total. They have a 13-game winning streak coming in. That 13-game streak is tied for the 3rd longest in Boise State history. Nobley blocked, but it goes out.
Well, and right now when we have, when the Broncos have Bolda up in the front as part of the block, they also have Oliver, who is taking the brunt of most of the blocking.
And it's a rotation error on Air Force on the serve immediately. It's called by the official, which means it's a Bronco points.
Which was interesting against Colorado State. Boise State had at least 3 rotational errors. And I think that comes at when you sub somebody in who's not been in the match. Could have been the first time, and they're just not used to who they're against or next to.
Wally gets the serving ace. The Broncos have found their footing, and Air Force will call a timeout. Bronco Gym is packed. Set number 1 for your Mountain West champions. We'll be back after this on the Mountain West Network.